Welcome to a special bonus episode of You Can't Laugh at That, the podcast where we take topics you can't laugh at and we find ways to laugh at them in the never-ending quest to prove that anything can be funny. This is a special bonus episode because instead of the typical comedian guest we have welcomed Maria Melfa, who is the co-founder, CEO, and president of the Training Associates, a global leader for learning and development, talent, and solutions. They help organizations of all sizes and industries by providing cost-effective, expert talent that aligns with their unique training needs and business objectives. Now, the thing that makes Maria so special is that she values humor in the workplace on a day-to-day basis. In this podcast episode, we talk a little bit about trust and how humor is an excellent conduit for building trust, building connection, building loyalty, and helping Maria and her team deal with this COVID-19 pandemic and helping her clients see the value in using humor in the workplace, as well as potential recruits, employees, and so on. So listen in to this episode if you're interested in how humor can help you in the workplace, whether you are a leader yourself, whether you're a trainer, a coach, or an employee. There is always value in being able to use humor to deal with the day-to-day struggles that we all face going to work. Because if you're going to do something for most of your week, 40, 50, 60 hours, and that doesn't even include the time we spend thinking about our jobs and stressing about our jobs outside of the office, shouldn't we have fun doing it? And humor is one way to do that. So enjoy this episode and be sure to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/YouCan'tLaughPod. And if you're interested in incorporating humor into your workplace culture, be sure to visit watercoolercomedy.org to learn how we can help you. With that being said, enjoy this bonus episode of You Can't Laugh at That with Maria Melfa. There's a lot of people that are just looking for a new way to lead, and humor provides that.
Yes.
Now,
well, it's all about, I think, one of the key words for 2019 and the beginning of 2020 was all about engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, I mean, nothing brings engagement or people closer than laughing. It just breaks down any barriers. People feel more comfortable from the start. So yeah, from onboarding, we want to start introducing humor and just getting people to feel very comfortable. We usually wait for a week, like I just showed you those bamboo profiles.
Mm-hmm.
We usually wait for a week for them to get comfortable, and they'll say, well, when does my picture get changed? Like, okay, well, just wait, want them to kind of feel comfortable, and then we have fun starting to change those funny profiles. And
so there's a sense of wanting to belong from the start then. I mean, just something as simple as changing profile pictures to something silly.
Exactly.
Really?
Yes, people will actually send sometimes pictures to me and say, oh, please just update so-and-so's profile with this picture. And something happened, funny that day, then, we would definitely have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it's funny. I talk to a lot of people who are confused, like, how do we get these new hires to buy in? And it's not as complicated as you would think.
Yes.
Something as simple as that kind of shared experience everybody has.
Doing the pictures,
Yeah.
Yes. Singing in sales meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We bought everybody in the sales team an accordion too, which I believe I have it right here. So
how very Weird Al.
We have nice wins. We will all play the accordion, which is fun too.
I bet that sounds amazing.
Yes. So there's definitely a lot of things, and I really think it reduces the stress level tremendously, and people just I believe that there's great in everybody, and that everybody is really doing the best that they can. So there's no need to have like a stressful environment. We all have, stress. We're all, usually have, families or a lot of us have families at home, and, from going and working all hard, at home, and now with a lot of people, obviously working from home too, it's even more important to go ahead and do that. And there are, other great initiatives as, mindfulness and stress related classes. But I just think it doesn't bring as much as the connection. So we'll do movies too. We watched, Elf together a few weeks ago. So tomorrow we're doing a virtual Christmas party, and we're, watching some fun movies. And I know a lot of, companies are doing this, having fun games. We actually, the reps don't, the employees don't know this, but what we did too is we had every employee write a word or adjective that describes each employee, and we're putting that all into like a slideshow. So for example, Lori, my assistant, will have, her name, and Lori, the word art with all these really nice names. So I think, humor to me also kind of goes along with just having, a positive, nice, respectful culture, that you
Right.
respect people enough that you're going to be a human, and you're actually going to to have fun and to be able to work and realize, okay, you're not just sitting here doing, working so hard during the day, and you can't be serious. You can't have fun. You just have to be serious, and you have to just leave. And I know it's funny, from people that will come from big backgrounds. They are definitely, well, some of them are definitely kind of surprised. Oh, wow, we couldn't do this in our, previous company. So.
Now, when did you decide? I mean, has that always been part of your MO? Since I mean, I read a little bit about your dad starting it, and this organization was about introducing flexibility to the field of leadership and development. Which,
Yes.
at that time, flexibility, work was work, and you worked 9 to 5, you went to the office, and then you worked for one company, you got the gold watch. So then there's not a whole lot of flexibility in that. And so you were
Yes.
kind of paving the way, you were kind of innovating back then, but now incorporating humor, that's just goes
Yes.
right along with flexibility and innovation. So has this been a
Yes.
part of your culture from the jump?
So my father and I started the company together 27 years ago in January. We always worked in different areas. He was the CEO, and he was more the visionary, and I worked on, handling all the day-to-day stuff. So my father was definitely, he does have a good sense of humor, but he shares that more personally than in business. So he was more, old school, like everybody else was. He's 85 years old right now.
Mm.
So it was definitely more like, if people are leaving right at 5 o'clock, why are people leaving at 5 o'clock? People, that was a way to indicate whether somebody was working hard, whether they, stayed after work. But now, as we know, we're all completely plugged in, 24 hours a day. So that really is not a good measurement of, people working, hard. So to me, it always, I think like I mentioned when we first started talking, I've always been one to just laugh and joke. So I think it's just always been, part of me. And I think I've just been more open to that because I see the positive effect it has on the organization and the engagement. And to mention, I believe that it does create like fierce loyalty and people just really wanting to come to work every day. I can't tell you how many times I have employees tell me that this is the best place that they've ever worked, that they love it here, that they are like lifers, that they love coming to work every day. They really love and respect everybody. So, it just creates incredible teamwork, loyalty, working hard. So a lot of companies might think, oh, that's the opposite. If you have all this, if you have fun, you're not going to get work done. But it's absolutely the opposite, because I can tell you that I don't have one employee that does not work so hard and does not give it their all.
Yeah, that's one of the very first things on your website, in the about section, about the culture. it's an atmosphere filled with laughter. And that is the very first thing on that page. And that, you know, like you were saying, a lot of people outside of that realm who don't understand that will see that and think, if they're laughing, they don't have time to work. But that's such an
No,
urban legend.
yes, no, it really is. I know some of our job posts we've had, you know, when you outline all of the requirements, one of the requirements has been like, you must bake chocolate chip cookies, you know, once a week for the team. And, you know, we've done that. And it's been great because then we could screen the individuals where, okay, first, did they read the full ad? And what do they say? And we've had a lot of people saying, I will bring you cookies the first day, you know, I come there. So, um, yeah, and so many people that have interviewed will leave the interview and will say, oh my goodness, what an incredible environment you have. This is amazing. Everybody just seems so nice and friendly. So it just, and then, you know, nice and friendly obviously contributes to a lot of positive teamwork too. And
That's
as we know, we can't get anything done without teamwork. You know,
right.
every position here is so integrated.
You can't laugh at that.
Can't get enough of You Can't Laugh at That? Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/You Can't Laugh Pod. And when you become a patron, you'll get exclusive access to deleted footage from every episode. You'll be the talk of the town. Your friends will think you're the coolest person ever. Patreon.com/You Can't Laugh Pod. Find all sorts of new reasons to laugh at your friends for not being as cool as you.
You know, I think this is great that you are, you know, making this your career now, looking into businesses that are bringing humor because it really is a very, people don't talk about it enough.
Right. And there, you know, there's a resistance to it, but if there's enough, I mean, I think now we've been studying it enough. I mean, humor researchers, I know you mentioned Jennifer Acker, and they have a book coming out now in February called Humor Seriously.
Mhm.
And so there's enough body of knowledge that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that it is so beneficial.
Mhm.
So I think more and more, and especially with being more connected now,
Yes.
that more this information has an
Uh, uh,
opportunity to get out. So, and I appreciate
Absolutely.
what you do. I mean,
Yes.
you know, and the leadership and development field, like that's a very, you know, people hire you and they expect results instantly. You know, they want the magic bullet,
Yes.
and
Absolutely.
humor can kind of do that in a way. I
Mhm.
mean, how would you, especially now with things the way that they are, how would you, we talked about it a little bit before we started recording, but
Yes.
if you could just reiterate, you know, how you've leaned into humor to adapt quickly and effectively to the challenges of the modern day workplace.
As I mentioned, you know, when COVID hit, it certainly was a stressful time for everybody in the organization because we started seeing it, even though, you know, we're US based and only have locations in the US, we do a lot of international work. So we had one very large international project that ended up, you know, in January started getting put on hold. And I remember saying, well, you know, what do you mean? Like, why is this getting put on hold? And then we started getting, you know, a bunch in the States. So it was definitely stressful, but we just did what we could. We laughed about it, as I mentioned. We started watching. That's right when Tiger King came out. So somebody suggested, "Oh, you have to watch Tiger King." And I know when I first started, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is such a crazy show." But we had fun on it. In one of our first company meetings, when we were just talking, as I mentioned, just coming in dressing up as Carol Baskin, with the red lipstick and the blonde wig, and just it just made everybody realize it's okay. We're gonna be in it together. We only can do what we can do, nothing more, nothing less. I always say that, and to just do the best you can. And as I mentioned, I think it all starts with trust too, and knowing that people are gonna get their jobs done, and then just starting to initiate more fun times, happy hours. People were doing some really fun screensavers. One of my employees here was actually taking pictures of other people So when you had Zoom meetings, it actually looked like the person was there in two spaces. So I don't know if you've ever seen people do that, or even like three spaces. And then, so that became a fun thing to try to see, how many of, Davids are there on the meeting. And just kind of just, singing and sales meetings, as I, mentioned, like having the accordion, and just really trying to just know, okay, it's okay. Don't take ourselves so seriously. We will get through this. We are all a team, the most important thing. And just, being there, being understanding for people in, people's life, being understanding that people are, working from home, and, dealing with a lot of stress, taking, more breaks. And like I mentioned, the breaks would be like just, having more, fun together, playing like online bingo, or just creating that in the virtual environment. And then when we all came back into the office in June, just, again, it's just an everyday occurrence. So there is probably not a day that doesn't go by where you don't hear, laughing throughout the whole office for a good part of the day. But again, they're working, they're talking to other people, talking to their clients, having great relationships with their clients, because as we know, you treat your people great, they treat their clients great.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
If you could offer one piece of advice to a leader who is resistant to the idea of using humor in the workplace, what would it be?
That nothing increases engagement like using humor and getting that fierce loyalty from employees.
Same question,
Mm-hmm.
but for an employee who doesn't have a boss who's as cool as you.
Mm-hmm.
How can they
So
find the humor in just the little things that happen?
how can an employee find the humor in little things? Mm-hmm. Well, I think that goes to trust. So I think when an employee knows that it's okay, and they see that their bosses and their leaders are, having fun and having a good time, but still working hard, I think it lets their guard down. So then they're able to feel like they're able to, feel safe, take more risks, feel part of the team. It creates more teamwork, creates more collaboration, which creates more engagement, which creates more loyalty.
That's been a recurring word that you've used, loyalty.
Yes.
And humor is, like you've said before, it's an instant trust builder. I mean, when we laugh together with a group of people, it's one of the most powerful human experiences we can have. And without that in the workplace, the trust levels drop, the loyalty goes down. Nobody wants to work somewhere where everyone's a curmudgeon.
It's true. Then it's just work.
Mm.
And we don't want it to be just a job. We want it to be like a career. We want it to be fulfilling. So
Right.
we really want, I mean, that is truly a goal that I work on all the time. I want people to want to come to work every day and feel happy about it. That's because there's nothing more important. You're going to get the most from people if they love what they're doing and they want to come to work.
There it is. You heard it here first.
Yes.
Maria, thank
Excellent.
you for joining the podcast.
Yes.
And I will be sure to send you a link when we post it. And we're just closing out the recorded portion right now.
Okay, excellent. So
Yeah.
is there a way to like edit it at all? Because I know there were a few things that I was hesitant on, but
Yeah, I'll shoot it to you before I.
No, do whatever. I
post it.
know like some of the hesitations and stuff. I always get nervous, even though I laugh a lot. I do get nervous.
I get it.
On
I get
stuff
it.
like
No.
that.
Hey, I found value in everything that you said. So
You can't laugh at that.
special thanks to Golden Ox Studio. You can find Golden Ox Studio for all your podcasting needs at goldenoxstudio.com. Hit up Jeremy. He is fantastic to work with, a professional. He makes podcasting easy. And if you
been kicking the tires on starting your own podcast, definitely give Golden Ox Studio a look.
If you'd like to weigh in on today's topic, follow us on Twitter at YouCan'tLaughPod, or like us on Facebook at You Can't Laugh at That, and tell us how you did laugh at today's topic or how you didn't. This is all about the conversation, is what I'm saying. All right. Bye.